Well, hi. Welcome back to Glitter 50. Hopefully, my mic stays going. I have two, and one ran out of battery juice throughout my last, or somewhere in the middle of my last video. I'm still going to post it, but just know the volume might be a little bit weird. I might not be talking, whatever. I did film this look. It is using one of my favorite brands. So I'm going to go over, this is the last of my eyeshadow collection, and this happens to be my 4 favorite brands. All right, so the first one is, I got the old version of this particular palette from a BoxyCharm many years ago, and I liked it, but my daughter liked it more, so I let her have it. And then they remastered it, they reformulated it, they did a different formula, the newer updated version. And this is Nomad Cosmetic Berlin Underground, and this is the color story. Now in this one they have mattes, but in the older version they were all sparkle shades. They all glimmered. They all had some sort of shimmer to them. One thing I really like about Nomad Cosmetics is they are a destination brand. They have different palettes based on different places, and they donate part of their proceeds to something in that destination, like Ocean Conservatory, sea turtles, something in the area. Do I know all of them? No, I do not. I do know some of them. Then the next one I have from Nomad is the Whistler Snow Lodge, and I don't remember what this one was that they donated to, but this is the color story. It is so pretty. I love all the shades. Of course I do, because this brand is just amazing. This is an older palette. I don't know if you can still get this palette or not. And this color right here is blue, but I can't even show you. It has like a purple shift to it. It's so pretty, so unexpected from this particular palette. Oh, I don't remember how to pronounce this. This was, this is for, that's the name of it back there. This was for France, something to do with France. Anyway, this is the beautiful color story. No, this is not the palette that I'm using today. When I get to that palette, I will show you, but this is the color story. And if you can see the little bees on this palette, that they donated to the honeybees in France. That was their cause that they donated to in when they launched this, like 20% of the proceeds. So yeah, went to helping the bees. This was the first palette that I bought after I got the Berlin Underground, the very first one. This was the first palette. This is the Iceland Fire and Ice. And see the little gnome right there? He's so cute. And then here you can see the little gnome. I know it's upside down, but just the way I'm showing the palette. This is the color story. It is so pretty. I love these colors, and I know I've said this 1,000 times. I really need to dig back into all of my palettes and stop buying them. But this is the only one that I keep in the packaging because I cannot read the writing. If I wanted to know the shade names, they're written better on the back packaging than they are inside here. This is the America's Parks, and I love the grungy green, the yellow, just one of my favorite color stories. Love this. This is a beautiful shifty shade right here. Love this. Love, love, love this. And I'm not sure what they contributed. Had something to do with the parks, obviously. But I don't know exactly what they contributed to as far as that goes. Sorry, my eyes, my eyes water. This one is beautiful. This is the Royal Europe, and this is like a 3D packaging. It's just so pretty, and it has multi-chromes in it. The only thing with this particular palette is these are not light colors. They're all pretty deep colors. They like this one looks pretty light, but it's actually very, very dark. So when you put it on your eyes, it's a very dark color. And so I have to mix that one with like the Aurora Lights, Aurora Struck palette from ColourPop so that I have the lighter colors with the darker colors. This is the one that they did with Paradise Island. So they went to like Bora Bora and they donated to the sea turtles. But look at that color. This is actually one of their bigger palettes. Each of these palettes were somewhere between $48 and $54. I know, and it's a lot, but I wanted, this is years and years and years worth of collecting. It's not something that I did overnight. And a lot of these I got on sale, and you can use a code and get at least 10% off. Or if you wait till Black Friday, they generally have like a 20% sale, and then you can use the code and get another 10% off. So I didn't buy them for like the whole price, but just so you know. This one is Fairy Tale Europe, and this has the raised embossing also. And then not my favorite color story because these are all the mattes, which are all browns, and then you get all the color in the shimmery colors. But I loved this packaging and I love all those shimmers. So I had to get that one. But those are all my Nomad Cosmetic palettes. My next brand, this one is actually from Renton, Washington. And they have just done a phenomenal job. Some of the palettes that I have from them are older. They've changed the packaging, and you'll see what the new packaging looks like when we get down into it. But this is the Druid. This is old packaging, and this is the color story. This was my very first one, the very first palette that they ever came out with, and it is absolutely beautiful. I love the grungy greens, and I've said that 1,000 times also. This is the Bard palette. Obviously Fantasy Cosmetica, and they're going on a theme. They're on a theme. So, and this is the color story of the Bard, which I love doing the yellow, orange, and maroon color together. They're my favorite, one of my favorite color stories, except for the green. Um, and this is the Rogue palette. They have one called the Sorcerer, but it wasn't a color story that I resonated with, so I didn't buy that one. But this is the Rogue. It is so pretty. So, so, so pretty. Love this. Now, this is when they changed the packaging. This is the Warlock, and they went to more of a stained glass, and all of these ones, they came out in the new packaging also. This one is a unique color story. I have a hard time sometimes using this one, but I mean, I'm getting better at looking at it and seeing different color combinations that I can use. I love the formula of this brand. It's one of my favorites, obviously. This is called the Fighter palette. And this one is neutrals and grays and pops of color, but it's so pretty. Again, I need to use this more. This is going to show you. This is called the Wizard. And this again this is not the colors that I'm wearing today, but that yellow is what drew me to this palette. I love yellow and blue together. Obviously, I love yellow and purple together. Yellow is my favorite color, which brings us to the Monk palette. And there are the yellows. This one reminds me of the C3PO from ColourPop, but I like this formula better. But I have to keep that one because of C3PO, because I'm a fan. This is called the Ranger palette, and I love the green and orange because that's the color story on the inside too. And these are so pretty together. It's just a beautiful, beautiful palette. Love that palette. I'm gonna try my best to say this. Artificier palette. And this one is like a grungy metal, like a what is that called? Stone punk, rock punk, something. Anyway, it has only 3 mattes and 6 shimmers. The layout is a little bit different, and it doesn't have any light colors. Like I guess you could do very light powder, but it's kind of hard. This was, who was the creator? So the next 2 are collab palettes. This was Fantasy Cosmetica and Makeup Just for Fun. This was their palette. So I keep the outside of these because they're just so pretty. And this is the color story. And again, this is not the color story I'm wearing, but this is very dark. I wanted to support the creator, the makeup creator, but it's not a color story, and the brand, because obviously I like the brand, but it's not really a color story that I resonate with a whole lot. This one is Fantasy Cosmetica and Batty Bean. She is a YouTube creator also, and this is her The Witch's Familiar is what it is called. And this is beautiful, beautiful palette, and I love these colors. These are so pretty. They're just I love this shifty shade up here. Like you can see the shift in it a little bit. It's just so pretty. So pretty. Again, I need to use this palette more. Alrighty, so let me adjust a little bit so I can grab my last stack. These are obviously palettes, brands that I have a lot of their palettes, except for, okay, you'll understand when I get more into it. Singe Beauty is a brand new brand. However, Angelica Nyqvist is the person who owns Singe Beauty, and she's had several collabs with the other brand that I have here. So I have Singe Beauty and Odin's Eye, and I'm putting them together because Angelica did several palettes with Odin's Eye, and I wanted to put them all together. This is Singe Beauty's very first palette. This is the Galactic Visitor. When a long time ago, Angelica did a palette with a brand called Kaleidos, and I didn't get that palette. It was called Club Nebula, and I was really, really sad that I didn't get that. Had FOMO. Anyway, this is a very similar color story to that one. Excuse me. And this is my favorite color in this palette. It's what is it called? Encounter. It is very, very shifty. Okay. Yeah. It's a very shifty color. Absolutely love this color. Love this brand. Love the formulas in these palettes. The next one that she put out was called Agate Temptation. And obviously you can tell by the color of the palette what's inside. There it is. Those grungy greens and oranges and yellow. It's so pretty. Such a pretty color. Love that. She has another one out. It's called Paisley Hoot, but it's a very 70s color theme. Very orange and brown and neutral and not my color story. Obviously, I like to be very colorful, so I didn't get Paisley Hoot, but I did get Succulent Dew. This is her latest palette that is out, and no, this is not the color story I'm wearing either, but it is such a pretty color story. Like, it's so, love these colors. Some of my favorites. I mean, a lot of them. So the reason why I put Singe Beauty in is because Angelica did Odin's Eye collabs. This is the Hella palette, and I keep it in its cover because this one is gray because Hella is life and death or rebirth. And this is the color story, which has similar colors in the Agate Temptation, but they're not the same colors. So, yeah, just wait. Then Angelica moved from Sweden to Texas, and she came out with the Trick or Treat palette in Odin's Eye. And Hella is in the Trick or Treat. And this is the color story. Yes, it is very similar to the Agate Temptation, but it has other colors in it too. And it's so pretty. I know, I use that word a lot. But she also had the Little Ghost palette. with Odin's Eye. You cannot get these palettes anymore, but such a pretty color story. And no, this is not what I'm wearing either. I could get a very similar look with this palette, but I didn't use that palette. This is one of my oldest palettes from Odin's Eye. This was part of the Norns collection, and this is called Erd. And I love the grungy green color story. This you can use either side or mix it together. This is a very different multi-chrome. So pretty. Love, love, love. This one I got in a mystery box, but this was also a collab with Tina the Fancy Face, I think is what her name is. I'm still getting used to it. I have not used it a whole lot. I've used it maybe twice, maybe 3 times. But I get confused when I look at the color story. I have a hard time mixing those colors together. One of my favorites from the whole thing. This is the Solomono 2. And no, this is not the palette I'm wearing today, but you can tell I like to use this color, and this color as an eye look. It is one of my favorite looks to do. I love, 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 love this whole palette. It's so pretty. This is the palette that I used today. This is the Solomono 2 Moon Wish palette, and it's got the yellow and the purple and a little bit of blue. And I can hold it. I used this color, this color, this color, and this color to do the look. And then I used this and this for my shimmers today. Love it. Love this whole palette. And this palette came out a couple years ago, and I was really wanting it. And I kept thinking, no, I don't need it. No, I don't need it. And then I thought, you know what? I don't want to have FOMO like I did with Angelica's Club Nebula. So I went ahead and bought it. Oh, you should probably see the front. This is called the Stone and Rock palette. And I wanted it because I wanted the grungy greens in this palette. And I've used it only once. I need to use it more times, obviously. I was so thankful that Odin's Eye did a mystery box, and they put the Christmas Eve palette in the mystery box. This is a beautiful, beautiful palette. Look at that multi-chrome up there. It is so pretty. There was a red and green palette, and then there was this palette. And I didn't want the red and green one. I really wanted this one, and this came in a mystery box for me, and I was so thankful. So thankful. Such a pretty art on the front. Oh, this is my absolute favorite brand. And then the next year they came out with another Christmas series, and this is the Snow Dream palette. And this was the only one out of those. They came out with 2, I think. And this was the color story inside that I absolutely had to have. This one right here is my favorite color. It has so many different shimmers and sparkles, and I'm not going to waste it. I'm actually going to just take it and put it over the top because I don't want to waste a color. Since I have it on my finger anyway. It'll just give it a little bit of extra something something because I just can't. But that's my absolute favorite 4 brands. Um, Singe Beauty, Fantasy Cosmetica, Nomad Cosmetics, and Odin's Eye. Odin's Eye has a very new palette out. Odin's Eye and Heather Austin came out with a palette together, and it's actually singles. So you can choose which ones you want. You don't have to get all of them, but there's 15 singles, and you can get a palette with those 15 singles. Um, it's a magnetic palette, and you can arrange it however you want to, but it's a brand new palette that's out. I don't need it. I have to tell myself that I don't need it. Do I want it? Yes, but it's like $100, and I just don't have that right now. So I'm not going to get it. So this is the end of my eyeshadow collection. I hope you really liked it. I like sharing it. I didn't do like the most in depth, but I just wanted to show you what I had. And yes, I have a lot. I have a lot. And I don't need all of these. It's just I want them and I like them and I need to just use them. So please like, share, and subscribe. And remember, who's better than you? Nobody. Have a great day.